going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Out here on the kayak today doing some cold weather largemouth bass fishing. Gonna be throwing the crankbait around, some little finesse jigs, just trying to cover some water and find some biting fish. Stay tuned. Sorry, bud. Dropped him on his head a little bit there. Oops. It'll be all right. It's just plastic kayak. But all right, first bite of the day. I ran the crankbait for about 30 to 45 minutes or so. Didn't get a single bite on it, so I decided to slow down and fish a little finesse jig. Just try to locate some fish. Remember what it feels like to actually get a bite. So I'm gonna run this wall with a little jig and then see how that goes. And probably, I do want to find a crankbait bite, so I'll probably shoot all around and just cover a ton of water in a little bit with the crankbait. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta slow down and fish something a little smaller, a little more finessey. That one popped it though. That was awesome. I pulled it over the top of a rock and just felt him just dunk. Nice. How dark that one is. Looks like a Florida bass. That was cool. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Alright, well, been throwing this little jig for like 10 minutes now and I already got 2 bites, so that kind of tells you something right there. Kind of ripped that bait a little bit, but I think I can get a couple fish off of that. Yeah, I think anything finessey. I know that the fish are out chasing shad right now, so like if I wasn't throwing this little jig, I'd probably be throwing a little drop shot, little underspin, Carolina rig, whatever you like to fish that's finessey. This time of year when those water temps are dropping, just go for it. Get some confidence, find kind of where those fish are, get some fish on the kayak, on the boat, whatever. I'd love to find a crankbait bite like I was saying earlier, but sometimes they're just not eating it. And sun's still pretty high. We do have some clouds moving in, some wind picking up, so maybe I'll switch to the spinnerbait or the crankbait once we get some more conditions blowing through and that sun drops a little bit. But for now, let's catch some fish on the jig. Look at my next cast. Another little guy. Thanks, buddy. But yeah, I think now that I've kind of found what seems like a little school of bass right here, make a mental note of what area you were in, and then you can always come back with the crankbait, a swim bait, something that can draw like a bigger bite if you're trying to catch that kicker fish are a little bit bigger grade fish instead of just numbers. I do have that deep crank, glide bait, and a big spinner bait tied on. So might have to come back through here and slow roll that spinner bait along the bottom, or burn that deep crank through here. Oh. Oh no. I do not know what that was, but that was a decent sized fish. Didn't bend my hook out or anything. Just pulled the hook. I don't know. We have been getting a lot of random like catfish bycatch, so very possible that was just a mean catfish. Dang it! I hate pulling the hook on fish though, especially like when you haven't even seen them yet. You just never know. That could have been a giant largemouth. Dang it! Oh well, can't land them all. I'm just gonna tell myself it was a catfish just so I can sleep tonight. Right in that same spot. Obviously didn't fight anything like that first one I hooked, as far as just coming straight to the surface. So I have hooked big largemouth that do that though, and they stay down until the very end of the fight. So hard to tell, but here's a nicer grade fish. First keeper of the day if I can get him in the net. There we go. Look at that. Little redemption fish right there. They're pulling the hook on that last one, but cast it back in that same area. We haven't moved very far at all, and this is, I think, the 6th bite we've gotten. Nice chunky one. So, buddy, see it. One thing I did notice, I should have checked, and this is just making a silly mistake, is I didn't check my drag. So I think when I hooked those little fish came right to the kayak, so you don't really need to worry about your drag on those little fish. But when I hooked that better one, my drag was way too tight. So even if you have just, have that hook just pinned just in a little bit of the skin there, the last thing you want to do is have the drag too tight where it just rips out, or the hook just flexes just enough to give that fish a chance to turn its head and pop that barb out and get away. But drag's setting out much lighter, just in case I hook another good fish, it'll be able to run without putting too much stress on that really small hook. That is the one downside, I guess, of fishing smaller finesse gear like this. This hook can bend out so easily, and especially when you're around all these crazy sharp rocks and there's a chance of hooking a 6 to 12 pound fish. Not saying it happens all the time, but there are fish that size in basically all of the lakes that I fish. Ooh, that was a little bite just on the sink. Yeah, any of the lakes in California, you have a chance of hooking a really, really large bass. So just make sure your drag's set right, you have the right gear to match the bait you're using. That's a feisty little guy. That way you don't end up in a heartbreak situation. Another giant. Just kidding. Obviously not a giant. Cute little guy though. Thanks, buddy. So I've just been drifting down this wall. I'm giving that other spot that I was getting all those bites on a little break. It kind of slowed down. See if there is a school there, if they reset on it, and then I can slowly approach them again. Try to get another big one to make a mistake. But yeah, I'm gonna just drift down this wall, throw the jig around, shoot back up there in like 20 minutes or so, see what happens. Now, over the years, I've found this is actually pretty helpful and pretty important for people fishing bodies of water that don't have electronics or don't have good electronics, is fishing like a heavier jig or any sort of weighted bait that you have really good bottom contact, especially if you're fishing braid to leader. That braid is so sensitive. You can kind of paint like a mental picture of what the bottom actually looks like, as far as how deep it is, what the bottom's actually made up of, whether it's mud, sand, rocks, chunk rock, slate rock. If you fish a certain setup enough, you get so used to how it feels and kind of what your bait's going through that you can come up with a very, honestly, pretty accurate understanding of the bottom contour of the lake. And that just helps you throughout the year when you know, hey, you know, fish are hanging out around, you know, sandy bottom because they're looking to spawn sometime soon, so you kind of know where that's all at. Whether you're looking to fish wood, any sort of this deeper rock stuff, just something to kind of play around with. Oh, feels decent. Hard to tell, he's swimming at me. Still a little on the small side, but making progress. There we go, buddy. Nice. Got you that time. Even more good. Nice. Stole my claws. Re-rig now. Freaking spider. Ugh. I hate spiders so much. Oh. He ate it right as I was pulling it up out of the water. Yeah, finally got one on the crankbait. Just fell right out. I didn't even get a hook set on him. Little chunky one. That's so funny. I can't believe he grabbed it right below the boat. The kayak. Thanks, buddy. That was cool. I decided to just run a couple of banks with a slightly shallower diving crankbait just to see if I could get any reaction bites today. And I finally get one, and it's like the most unorthodox one you could possibly imagine, but I'll take it. Get out of here, B. I will take it. Go. Another crankbait fish, maybe? Alright. Another crankbait fish. That was on the deep crank though. That's crazy, man. I can't find the freaking good fish today. It's still fun out here catching little ones when the water's cold, but definitely want to find at least one more keeper. Better one too. Gosh, I think I made like 2 cranks. That thing came up and ate it. Whoop. Nice. Okay, maybe they're getting a little more active now. Another one on the crankbait. Slightly bigger, still not a keeper, but that was a pretty cool bite. Thanks, buddy. Actually casted way shallower than I originally planned. Like that, and I was just slowly cranking it in hopes that I wouldn't get snagged, and still just freaking smoked it. Alright, there we go. Another decent one. See you, bud. Oh man, that initial hook set, I definitely thought that fish was gonna be a little bigger. I think the jig was on the other side of a rock, so when I set the hook, I had to pull him over it. But that one had me going for a second there. Again, with this light setup and this light line. Really light sensitive rod. Even those little 1-pounders are super fun. Come on. There we go. Stay on there, buddy. That's what we came for. Come on. On that light line. Ugh. Got a spider web on my face. Gotcha. Oh man, that is so fun on this light gear. There we go. Nice. There we go. Brought you guys down here to my level. Get the net out of the way. All right. There we go. Nice little largemouth. Definitely not the biggest fish in the world, but when the fishing is really tough and really slow and you finally land a decent fish, especially on this light gear, it's so much fun. Look at that. Got it right in the roof of the mouth. That little finesse bait, little finesse jig. Definitely one of my favorite baits to throw when the water's cold or the bite is tough. It's just a confidence bait really, but man, that was a fun bite. Tossed it up shallow, popped it off a rock, felt it hit bottom, and then he picked it up and was able just to wind into him. Nice, beautiful, healthy fish. Man, I'm stoked. Let this guy go. So he's got kind of a healed hook wound right there. Doesn't seem to be slowing you down, buddy. Keep getting bigger. Whew, the water's cold. Ugh. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. The sun's setting and I only brought one jacket. It's getting really cold out, and I do have dinner plans tonight, so got some stuff to take care of. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Later, guys.